It's 19 days to the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Hello and welcome to Election Brief with me, Emefa Akosia Adeti. Election Headquarters is brought to you in association with Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, Chopbox, a convenient service, German Ozone Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Youth Bridge Foundation, Bridging Gaps for Positive Youth Development, Syntax Tanks, a strong, a tough. Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate. Deluxe Paint, Paint Mo Champion. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, on all social media platforms and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Please stay for details. Welcome back. Now, with more than 1 million registers, the northern region is projected to be a battleground on December 7. The region has always voted for the NDC since 1996. However, analysis by the Joy News Research Desk shows the region is fast losing its green color. The gap between NDC and NPP keep dwindling, with the 2020 elections being the NPP's best performance since 1992. But what is the story behind the numbers? Lead data and research analyst here at Joy News, here Isaac Kofi Ajay, joins me with fresh details. Kofi, please, what's the data telling you?
Well, you're looking at this big number on your screen. That is the the northern region in terms of total registered voters, 1.2 million voters approximately. Now, you cannot talk about the top 5 registered or the top 5 regions with the highest number of registered voters without talking about the northern region. And this year, why is the northern region so important? Because we are tipping it to be the key battleground in this year's election. We'll tell you why the northern region is the key battleground in this year's election. Now, with 1.2 million registered voters, this is a region that you cannot actually take for granted. So let's look at the performance of both the NPP and the NDC since 1996. And you can see that, just like you said, the NDC has always won this region, hovering around with always an average of somewhere around 58 or 56, thereabouts. That is the region that we are looking at right now. But you can see that if you begin to analyze this graph, what you see is that this big gap that we used to see somewhere around 2000, 2004, 2008 is now diminishing, it's now closing. What we see is that the NPP begins to match up, moving from as low as 34% in 2000. Now we are talking about 46.4% in 2020. And just like you put it, 2020 was the NPP's best performance in the northern region. Now you see an upward trend or movement for the NPP, but what do you see for the NDC? What you see is that NDC has now moved from as high as or a peak of 61.1% in 2004. Now we are talking about just 52.6%. Going into this election, why is this picture or why is this outlook so important? We saw a similar story pan out in the Northeast region where the gap started closing. And by 2020, we saw what happened. The NPP won the Northeast region for the first time in its history. The same story is happening in the northern region. But what is the story behind this graph or behind the numbers? Let's look at these big numbers you see on your screen. They may not be big, but they tell the story or they tell the reason why we are seeing the closeness in the gap. Now, NDC, there were 4 seats or there were 4 constituencies in terms of the presidential elections that switched colors from the NDC to the NPP. I'm talking about Karaga, Mion, Savlugu, and Tatale Sanguli. These 4 constituencies changed their colors. They changed from the green bloc to the blue bloc in 2020. 4 of them, 2 of them actually also switched from blue to green, or moving from the NPP to the NDC. I'm talking about, Saboba and, Walensee. All of these 2, now decided to vote for the NPP.
Kofi, stay with me here. But this is the same region.
Yeah.
I know that their tribal behavior is not the same or will not be the same. But do we have an idea why it will be so, especially in the same region?
This is an interesting region, and for us, this is what we call the Bawumia effect. If you hold all other factors constant, since the introduction of the current vice president on the NP, to be Nana Dankwa's running mate. The performance in 2 of the 5 regions in the northern regions have always improved. The northeast region is one of them, and the northern region itself now beginning to also pan out the same picture. Now you're talking about a candidate who is a Muslim, right? And if you look at the top 3 regions with the highest number of Muslim communities, the northern region is one of them. And the more you get into the urban areas, the Muslim it becomes. And I'll take a look at this, on your screens right now, because there were 6 constituencies that actually voted for the NDC, but their margin of win, or the NDC's margin of wins in this constituencies actually dropped significantly.
Okay.
And you're talking about Tamale Central, Tamale North, Tamale South. These are the urban part of the northern region.
This is what you mean by the more they came urbanized.
Exactly.
Okay.
You had 6 constituencies in the northern region. NDC maintains, their dominance there, all right, but they lose more vote. They lost 0.4 percentage point. This is actually not percentage, change. It's actually a percentage point, which means that absolute drops. Kumbugu, they lost 9.8 percentage points. Sangalirugu, they lost 6.7, Tamale Central 11.1. That's actually the highest. Tamale North 5.2 and Tamale South 3.6. So these were 6 constituencies that actually voted for the NDC, all right, but they dropped their numbers. Why did they drop their numbers? Definitely, you cannot take out the element of Bawumia in there. This is our last, graph or chart that we'll be looking at. 5 top constituencies that the NPP retain or actually get. If you see asterisks on, it means that they actually wrestled that constituency from the NDC.
Okay.
Karaga, for instance, the NDC won it in 2016, NPP wins in 2020. They win it in 2020, but what happens is that they open the gap, or they increase the gap by 16.2 percentage points. Mion was one of the constituencies that they wrestled from the NDC. They increased the gap again with 12.6. Savilugu, one of them, 10.8, and Tatale Sangalirugu, 9.3, and Zabzugu, 4.8. 5 regions, top 5, that actually increased their vote share. The
presidential candidate is wrapping up its northern tour in Nyom. You think that any message will make any difference at all, considering that they used to vote for the NDC?
Yes, this is an NDC region, or a green bloc. Now it's becoming, more blue. Is the reason why possibly they say you save the best for the last. And you saw that over the weekend, the NDC were there very heavy in the northern region. They weren't there just because they wanted to be there. They know what they are losing in that region, and they know what's at stake. That, look, if you really want to win the 2024 presidential election, then one battleground that you need to get your game right is the northern region. I
know you have mentioned the Bawumia effect. He wouldn't be the first Muslim vice president we've had in this country. In which of the years do you think that the effect started picking up? In fact,
it started from 2012. Started picking from 2012. That was when we saw the Bawumia effect coming through. Bawumia's transition from vice president to presidency at a point somewhere around 2016 or 2019 became so clear that there could be a chance that for the first time we may have a Muslim representing or being the main candidate for the 2 political parties. And we saw the effect panning out somewhere around 2012, and it's remained. He won, actually. If you hold all other factors constant, his effect got them the northeast region, which is his home region anyway. And just above that, northeast, you have the northern region there. His impact is also there. We are looking at the Muslim, voter population, and you could see that northern region is one of the big hubs, and he is a Muslim, and you cannot take that for granted at the moment.
I look forward to the elections this year, especially in the northern regions.
Absolutely.
And tomorrow, which region is the data analyst bus stopping at?
Tomorrow we are bus stopping at the Ashanti region, which is the home region or the what they call the World Bank of the NPP. Certain things are happening there, interesting trends also in the Ashanti region that will be bringing to your screens tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Kyebi. Now, still with the NPP, the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahama, has pledged to tackle the country's housing deficit, promising to construct housing units in every district if elected as president. Speaking during a campaign at Drobonso in the Secha from Plains constituency of the Ashanti region, Dr. Bawumia indicated his administration will prioritize the construction of affordable housing units to address the country's housing shortage. He believes the housing sector has the potential to create thousands of jobs, both directly and indirectly, and that his initiative will help address the unemployment challenge. But first, take a listen to the chief of Drobonso, Nana Jamina Dankwa, who bemoaned the housing challenge and some difficulties experienced in his community.
Abai edru me bia almost see bibi e fe no affordable houses ewo yenkuro akese ne yenkuro enketo anu mu eye affordable houses ifititi na bai yesa eniema no na medi hini mfie aduonu miensani onyankopon na me so wacheche dobon so amana yekuro fefe yafo ene broni akura bia adwuma ewa ha enam se enipa bebu ha omo padwuma yenti no ye dai boa ye
We know government is constructing affordable houses in the cities. Since a lot of people are coming into the community, rent is getting expensive because the demand is high. So government should come and I'll help with the land so we can construct houses to help people. This is my plea to Dr. Bawumia.
Na me mano asase. Na se abayuntua meka kura no a sike befrum beba no me mfa me de enhye mu na se ye de ma haya ye mfa me de enso so e ma me na wo mo eye adwuma wa ha na timanya da ni bi atenem aye wonwuma weni adesrede a me de to eye yewura Mahmoud Bawumia animu.
Meanwhile, Dr. Bawumia has pledged to address the challenges if elected president.
Memunu etiminye ichuma aye adishe medeba the decline aye housing policy ushe amaya adaya accommodation ne housing and some edijuma bebre eba usi adaya masons wo carpenters wo electricians plumbers.
Housing comes with cost and creates a lot of jobs, just like it is done in Singapore. We are coming to construct houses across all districts, and just as Nana said, we will do it and create jobs for the people.
Social as well as affordable housing schemes across all the districts. A manifesto. Nana Aboso already said, "Mohia affordable housing ha because housing ni ha professionals are motivated transfer mahano umumba enti na yebe yesa no abdi ejuma beba."
Now, the NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama has promised to address critical infrastructure needs in Kyebi in the Mion constituency if elected in the 2024 elections. Speaking during the final phase of his tour of the northern region, he expressed worry over what he says is the neglect of the community over the past 8 years, citing the lack of good roads, healthcare facilities, potable water, and telecommunication services. He assured residents that a future NDC government will prioritize these areas and improve their conditions. He also promised to construct boarding facilities for students at the E block in the community SHS.
And we decided to do the rally here in Kyebi because it is one of the deprived parts of the Mion constituency. You yourself, you notice the road on which we came, and that is one of their major problems. They also have problems with telecommunications network, they have problems with water, and they have problems with health facilities. And so these are the felt needs of the people. They've been denied all these for the last 8 years. Everything you see here, including the electricity and everything, was done during NDC's era. In the last 8 years, nothing has been done here. And so it's NDC that is going to come and bring development back to this place. Our number one priority will be to fix the road so that we can have easy access to the place. The next will be to get them a good health facility so that they don't have to go all the way to Yendi to look for treatment. And then also provide them with water, clean drinking water, instead of going all the way to Yendi for treatment. And so there's a lot that we must do here.
Tamale South MP Haruna Idrisu says the NDC-led government under John Dramani Mahama will complete all ongoing projects initiated by the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia administrations. However, he stressed that these projects will be subjected to value for money audits to ensure accountability and prudent use of resources.
Region overall is winning young, and then to the media. Report to President Akufo-Addo and Bawumia that Excellency John Dramani Mahama will continue and complete every project initiated by them in accordance with Article 35(7) of the Constitution of Directive Principles of State Policy. But he will subject each of those projects to a value for money audit that he will do as president.
Still with the NDC, its presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama continues his campaign tour with a visit to the Eastern region, which is also the home region of the President Akufo-Addo. He is expected to address supporters in Kyebi and at the president's hometown later today, following the conclusion of the last phase of his tour of the northern region some hours ago. Eastern Regional Youth Organizer Richard Nyako says the NDC will not win less than 14 seats out of 33 in the region. Maxwell Agbagba joins us with more. Good afternoon, Maxwell. And has John Mahama arrived yet, and what more can you report?
Constituency earlier, and then he went to a youth constituency. Now here in the Upper West constituency. He's about to speak, and you can see the crowd here has been wrapped up into a state of hilarity, a state of excitement here at Adeso in the Upper West constituency. He'll be speaking shortly. But key among the things he has been talking about is the creation of an industrial enclave if the NDC is elected in December. He says the NDC will create an industrial enclave from Suhum, from Insawam, all the way to Suhum to create jobs for the teeming number of young people here in this particular region. But we have some supporters here, some of the supporters here. Let's speak to them and find out from them their expectations here in the Eastern region ahead of the December election. Hello. Hi. Your first name? What expectations going into the December election?
Yeah, I feel I'm being shop. Now my start here, Juma.
Her name is Firdaus. She says she's going to vote for John Mahama because she's been able to learn a trade, and she'll be using that skill to start her own business, her own dressmaking business very soon. She says that is why she'll be voting for John Mahama in the December elections. Let's find out from some of the other supporters here. Hi, what's your name?
Ranina.
December elections are here. What expectations?
Yes, but say, Obi Anshan on so much, Upper West Akim, no so much, so that the Beji seats, Nephi and people phone some night and one Sunday.
parliamentary candidates. I don't know Kasa see I'll say the resource center Mutu Abamana Obama skills and Juma technical and vocational skills near the other. Musha obetimi etu incumbent MP no fi akonyanes one.
You bet me too. Cause I say no NDC stronghold. But last 4 years we been see and I buy and before this cash mu number 2 year. But I feel trust me, we are taking them out. Yes.
Okay. Optimistic that the NDC is going to take back the Upper West Achim constituency seat from the NPP. They lost the seat in the last elections, and she says some division here in this constituency caused that, made the NDC lose the seat here in this particular constituency. But she's hopeful, and she says they've been able to fix that. And she's optimistic that the NDC would be able to reclaim that seat from the NPP in the December election. Well, the Eastern region has 33 parliamentary seats up for grabs. The NPP has more than 20 of those seats. They have been aiming, the NPP has been aiming to make it 30 seats. Their target is to win 30 seats. Earlier today, I spoke to the Eastern Regional organizer for the NDC, and he told me that the NDC is also hoping to win not less than 14 seats in this particular region. Typically, it's a stronghold of the NPP, and they are hoping that they will win not less than 14 seats here in this particular region. Let's see if we can speak to more people. But John Mahama, the NDC presidential candidate, is on stage right now, and he's speaking. Key among the things he's talked about right now is accountability. And he's saying that the NPP, the current administration, should be ready to be accountable to Ghanaians if the NDC wins power in December. Let me see if hi, your first name. Catch me. December elections are you expectations?
No, that boy, you Juma yet. And can Koran say, Redajilo. No, they are Juma. Yes, you want to pay Johnny just back. Yes, he can't Juma. Lord, interested us. So my Trukura, Tinama by us, but
it's you say no. When it does one Women's Development Bank now, and I said,
oh, many that's so. Many that's so many same what if you have yeah, Chairman, I saw about another boy.
Just to progress what she said, she's hopeful that when NDC, if the NDC is elected into power, they'll be able to get access to loans to start businesses. She says it's difficult now to get a loan to start a business, and I asked her whether she's banking her hopes on the NDC's promise for women's development. And she says yes, she's optimistic that that will provide some soft loans, for the young women here in this community, here in Addis. What you can hear them? The excitement and the cheer you can hear is from John Mahama's talk about accountability. So basically that's what it has been like here in the Eastern region. John Mahama will be visiting 4 more other places before he wraps up with day 1 of his tour of the Eastern region. He's going to be here until Friday. It's a 5-day tour. He's going to be here until Friday. But later today, he's going to be in President Akufo-Addo's hometown, Kyebi, where we'll be addressing a mini deba. So basically, that's what's happening here,
Thank you, Maxwell. Away from the NDC, let's take you to Subin inside the Ashanti region, where my colleague Nana Boakye is with the NPP presidential candidate and joins us on the line. Nana Boakye, good afternoon. How many more days left, and what has the vice president been saying?
Region. Today he is touring 4 constituencies. He has been to the first constituency, moving on to the Subin constituency, which will be the second constituency for the day. He has been to the Inshe, so had a stakeholders engagement, and then he has held his mini rally. We are at the Gomba line currently, where the Vice President is having his meet and greet and door-to-door engagement. The Vice President, you see in your shot, is engaging some people here in the Gomba line. Is as part of the Subin constituency engagement that he'll be having. He has already had a stakeholders engagement, and he's moving on to have his mini rally at Abbey's Park, where he will be addressing party supporters. And that is the Vice President in your shot, the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, with the parliamentary candidate for the Subin constituency also having their door-to-door engagement. Moving on to the streets of the Subin constituency, the Vice President is engaging party supporters, greeting them, sharing his message with them. He is going as far as to engage people in their shops, in their various rooms, and even where he finds necessary. And that has been the routine since he started his campaign in the first day, the 14th day out of the 15th day of the Vice President's tour in the Ashanti region. He's currently in the Subin constituency, where he would be having his mini rally. He just moved from his stakeholders engagement. We are live from the Subin constituency, as I said earlier, and we'll try to engage some party leaders who joined the Vice President on his tour today. We have Dr. Abuaji Da Costa here, and he has joined the Vice President since he started the tour. Doc, how do you see the campaign so far, day 14?
It's going very well. Ashanti region will deliver. We will deliver victory for the MPP.
So far, if you look at how the tour has been, do you believe that you can get the numbers just as required, 85% or 80% in the region?
We will get the numbers. We will get the numbers. And I've said Ashanti region will deliver. We will deliver based on the policies of Dr. Mahama Dubaomia. We will deliver the victory for MPP.
Thank you very much. And that is Dr. Abuaji Da Costa. I would want to engage the former majority leader, Honorable State Chairman Sabunsu, who has also been part of the Vice President's tour, day 14. And tomorrow, the Vice President is wrapping up in the region. Honorable, how has it been so far?
So far, so good.
Great. The numbers, are they encouraging? Is this what you really expected in the region?
Yes, certainly. But I think that we can still do more between now and the day of the election to still continue to agitate the ground and get our people to come and vote massively.
Thank you very much. And that is the Honorable State Chairman Sabunsu, the Vice President. Before he gets into the It Is Possible bus, is greeting party supporters who are here, who have come to the streets of the Subin constituency to meet him and also listen to whatever he has to say for them. He's getting into his bus. The bus will be moving from the Subin constituency or from the Dagoma line straight to the Kumasi Sports Stadium, where the Vice President is expected to have his mini rally. And so this has been the routine of the Vice President since he started his campaign tour in the Ashanti region. Day 14 out of the 15-day tour in the Ashanti region. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nana Bwachiyadon, for bringing us day 14. We look forward to the wrap of it, which will be day 15, which the Vice President's promise. However, this will be all for today on Election Brief. When me, MFA Akosia Adeti, please stay for more on the channel.